Hi everyone, I'm Jen and this is my friend Denise.
Hello everyone.
We had a very exciting day today. If you watched the previous video, she is the friend whose brother Jack visited, and it was very powerful. And there were a couple subtle things that also occurred, and after I videotaped it, and I thought it's amazing that she's willing to talk about it. It gives us greater insight what it's like to be on the other side. So, you're Denise, and what year did your brother Jack, quote, die? Because we know everyone's always alive.
Right. So, yes, yes, it's been 8 years ago. So in August actually, and so we're very close. And his passing, his ascension, was a surprise for all of us. So this evening, when Jen and I at the Mexican restaurant and eating outside and enjoying having a good time, and all of a sudden she's calling the waitress babe. And I would give her a double take on it. It's like I've never heard of, and close to a year and a half using the word babe. And so, and previously had mentioned babe. So then it became apparent to us that it was my brother coming in. He has been coming in different ways the last few days, especially. And so it was. Jen was wonderful in allowing him to come in to her and where we could go ahead and have a wonderful embrace that and where he was patting me on the back like he used to, in which she doesn't. She just hugs. She doesn't pat.
I hug. When I hug, close your ears if you're big into social distancing. And so when I hug, I'll do this with a person's back. But I'm also in my body, so I'm also observing how he's behaving while using my body. And he just kept patting her so hard. I don't have a brother, so I don't know what that's like. And
6'9", yeah.
Yeah, I felt
pretty
taller.
hefty guy, yeah, and very well built, and so yeah. So you could just feel the love and energy coming from him, and with the embrace that we did. And so we both got very emotional and that afterwards, and that's when she did the video. Well, of course, the waitress came out afterwards because there was a babe before that, and then I didn't mention. Then the waitress came out, and then there was another babe. So then we knew that was what it was up.
Oh
and,
my gosh!
So.
And when I made the prior video describing him, I did not say it out loud to you all on the video, but when describing the waitress, he wanted to say she's a pretty young thing. And I thought, I'm not going to say that coming out of my mouth to you all, but that was him calling her a pretty young thing. So, yeah. And then then we're playing Blocus, one of our favorite, trying to find the cover, one of our favorite games. And so we're back at my place and we're playing Blocus, but I go to the bathroom first. Oh my. I go to the bathroom first, and then I see me in the mirror. And it's not that it's not my face, it's the mannerisms that were not me. So poor Denise, she just puts up with so much with me. Like nothing's off the table anymore. And so I'm like, Denise, come in the bathroom, look at my face.
Okay.
I know. Yeah. And I was my mouth was doing something where this lip was more turned. I don't know if I can mimic it. Yeah. I don't think I can mimic it.
Yeah, so it was turned a little bit. And what it was my brother. He wasn't a country kind of guy, but he was actually a surfer. But he'd put a toothpick in the side of his mouth and be having that, and that's just the way her mouth and the distortion of the mouth was with one of the large toothpicks in the mouth, and so he once again was there, and we were able to get another wonderful embrace and feel that again, and where he was doing the patting again. So Jen picks up. I mean, you can't help but pick up on that stuff like that as far as where I could feel them, but Jen is very good about that as well. So, which is wonderful. And So I was very grateful for that through her. But so it was a
And
wonderful experience.
I don't know if you've heard my other videos, if I shared it, but I usually step in the back left of my body and give the person, the quote dead person, and the other live person all there, because I've done a Whoopi Goldberg style hug also with a adult daughter who was raised by her grandmother who was quote dead. But just so you know, I give you guys as much, like I step back and give you as much privacy. um, but I was distracted. He was with my arm, but he was patting you really hard.
Yeah, he would. And just also want to mention at this time too, and like I said, what a wonderful experience this was. But if you've had a loved one that has passed, you can go ahead and they can contact you in different ways, whether it be through numbers, through a bird, a hummingbird, which is what my mom is, particular times and all, and they will find their way on through to you. And my brother uses the moon a lot, and will be shining in different ways that will come through the trees and then
Wait,
bounce off.
Let me get your arms. Do it again.
So when we were camping at the one time where the moon was coming through the trees, and it was like 3/4 of the way through, and then the moon totally took and reflected off to the side right in front of my tent. And I'm looking at it. I don't drink. I don't do any of the funny stuff. And I'm looking at it and not believing my eyes. And once again, the moonbeam coming in here, and it usually will filter through the branches and the leaves. But it was about 3/4 of the way up, and then the trees, and then turned and reflected. And I started giggling. I said, well, that was good, Jack, but you can do better. You missed my tent. And within a couple of minutes, the moonbeam was on my tent. And so another time camping where the moonbeam came, I got up to go to the little girl's room, and it was right, I was sleeping out under the stars, and it was right on my bed. I can see 3 football fields around me, and there was no moonlight anywhere else except directly. And this white light, it was a white light of, like I would have said of Jesus, but I know it's my brother. It was just so brilliant and white, and right on my bed. So they can come in. They can still, they're with us all the time. And so just go ahead and talk to them and tell them, the way that you'd like them to come in, and you'll be surprised. They'll come on in. So faith.
Yeah, and your mother's birthday is today, and the symbol for your mother's a hummingbird, and you saw a hummingbird today.
Right, yeah. So my daughters, and even though they do have a hummingbird feeder, but they don't always come around and all. And so actually it came around about half a dozen times actually. So that was very, very special. Indeed.
Good.
So very grateful. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Jack.
And I thank you, because I think,
and of course, Jen.
I had an incredible day with my daughter for Mother's Day, and my day was full. I'm ready to run out of things. So my day was full, but I had the urgency to meet with her, and now I know why. It's so this could happen. So thank you, Jack, for trusting, and thank you for trusting me to do that. Yeah. I feel so honored.
Yeah, and thank you once again, Jen. Yeah. It wouldn't have happened without you.
I love you. I love everyone who's listening. I love you. You're not alone. I'm with you.
Love you too.
Yeah.